Hello, my friends. Perhaps I have lived through more than half of my life. I have seen lots of fragility in our human condition. Today, we may be strong and healthy, but tomorrow, we may be weak and sick. Today, we may be very sound, but tomorrow, we may be unable to express even our basic needs and communications. It's all human, isn't it? We don't know what tomorrow holds for us. So my friends, today, when I still feel that I am clear in my thinking and understanding, I would like to share with you some most important things I've gained from many years of learning, studying, and experiencing. These are the truths that I want to leave behind for the world to contemplate and hopefully benefit, especially when I will no longer be as well as I am or when I will be gone. If there is something attached to my very existence as a human being that I want you to know, it is these statements that I'm going to share. First, nothing is greater than the love of God for each and every one. St. John the Apostle says it very well. God is love. God is love. God treats everyone, especially sinners, broken people, always with mercy and compassion. No sin in the world can be greater than God's love. The greatest sin ever existing is so small compared to the immensity of God's love. God's love is always so powerful that it can turn any evil into good. God's love is the most powerful thing. Nothing is greater than the love of God for you, for me, and for everyone. Second, everyone is loved equally and unconditionally by God. Equally because everyone is a child of God. Unconditionally because His love comes from His goodness and does not depend on our merits. God loves us not because we are good, but because He is perfectly good and perfectly great in His love. Everyone is equally in need of the same salvation, granted only by our loving God. Therefore, no one should ever say that he or she is better than another person. Everyone is in the same boat. Everyone is in need of the same salvation. No matter who you are, Jew or Greek or Arab, Vietnamese or Chinese or Cambodian, American or Canadian, or anyone, Republican or Democrat or communist or atheist, and no matter what you have done, you are always and forever loved by God with His unchanging love and mercy. Believe it or not, that's the non-negotiable truth of our faith. God loves everyone equally and unconditionally. That's why God is so great. Third, we human beings only have one enemy that is not human. Now, this enemy is often called or known as the devil or Satan. Anyone who is not aware of this enemy will be harmed without knowing. Satan always looks for ways to destroy good things in our lives. The question is this: how do we recognize the presence and tricks of Satan? The question may sound complicated, but the answer is quite simple. Pay attention to one sign that indicates the presence of the devil. Violence. Violence, that's the sign. Whenever you sense some violence moving in your thinking, in your feeling, in your talking, in your acting, watch out. Satan is there trying to take away your peace and harmony and charity. Be careful with violence in all its forms, my friends. Violence is never from God because it is contrary to His love and nature. As I said, Satan is the only enemy of us human beings. No human being is the enemy of another human being. Why? Because everyone is a child of God, and everyone is a brother or sister. Therefore, calling a human person enemy is falling into a dangerous trap of the only enemy, Satan, who always wants to create confusion and hatred among the children of the same family that has the same parent, God, the loving God. So, let us be very careful and never call any human person our enemy. Otherwise, we are following Satan. We are a disciple of Satan. Fourth, the Bible. The Bible is more than a book. Rather, it is like a library which contains different kinds of literature. And each kind has a different genre and style and aims to convey certain truths to certain audience in a specific context and time. That is why the Bible needs to be read in its original context. At the same time, the Bible is the only book that is called the living word because it has a capacity to reach out and speak to anyone in any circumstance. Therefore, the Bible needs to be listened to as a guide for our own situations of today. Now, in order to understand the nature and the spirit of the Bible as Christians, we need to read it in the flow of the divine revelation, which is gradually progressive. God chose to reveal His truth gradually because we human beings needed time and space and experience to understand it. The climax and the fullness of this process is found in Jesus Christ, as he himself declares in John 14:9. Anyone who has seen me has seen the Father. Anyone who has seen Jesus has seen God himself. My friends, we have to hold this point very clear and very firm in order to identify the golden thread of truth running through all the Bible. Very important. Only when we hold Jesus as the standard and the judge of all the process of revelation, both before and after him, can we put on the details in the right perspective and order. When holding Jesus Christ as the point of reference, we can judge someone or something as correct or incorrect, both in the Old Testament and New Testament. We can judge someone or something in the light of Jesus Christ himself. Without holding Jesus as the point of reference, reading some stories in the Bible may be quite challenging and confusing for Christians. The golden thread of truth that runs through all the Bible is very simple. And we have to hold this thread when we read the Bible to understand the truth of the Bible that is never wrong. What truth? What thread? Okay, the golden thread of truth that runs throughout the Bible is very simple. It is this. From the very beginning to the very end of time, God so loves us that God always gives us his forgiveness, his patience, his mercy, his compassion, and he even gives us his best, his most precious gift, his only Son, Jesus Christ. God keeps nothing for himself. He gives everything to us because of his great love for us. He gives us even the best thing of him, which is Jesus Christ, his only begotten Son. God loves us so much. God loves us beyond anything. That is the golden thread of truth that we need to hold when we read the Bible. Let us use that truth to judge everything. Let us use Jesus Christ as a standard and the point of reference of everything in the Bible, and hopefully in life. And fifth, in the world, there's always more good than evil, more light than darkness, more life than death, and more love than hatred. Why? The reason is so simple. Because ultimately, God is in control of everything. And his grace is always at work. Evil may happen because of different causes, including the abuse of the free will by us human beings. But God's grace always finds ways to turn evil into good. And that's why God's grace is so great. Being believers in God means we trust and follow God himself. There's no dead end in God. So believers in God must not ever allow ourselves to be desperate in any situation. We are the people of sure hope in all circumstances. My friends, we have lost our right to despair once we've known who God is, the most powerful and the most loving one. And truth is, everlasting truth is, we always have God with us. So, my friends, these are my deepest convictions I would like to share with you. Thank you so much for listening, and may our God, the God of love and mercy, fill your hearts with joy and peace.